Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. It's Matt Cook with Jonathan Green and Men's Mayhem. And each week we dissect some very interesting relationships and dating questions and give you some really, really great advice that you'll never hear anywhere else. Um, I am Matt Cook, and I have about 700,000 subscribers. I'm a relationship and sex and health expert. And Jonathan Green was a world famous dating coach, one of the top dating coaches in the world until he's retired now on a tropical island. And here we all are. This is kind of an interesting question. She says, we haven't had sex in months. We both need to
Got it.
work on things. Okay. I'm physically, emotionally exhausted. So here's the thing. She goes, I don't get any affection, no back rubs, no cuddles. All it is like he wants to say, like, you should suck it, or you should do this, or you should do that. And it's like, there's nothing romantic or anything. There's no affection. And I said, I need affection from you. And he goes, well, how about you initiate it once? And that's really not what I mean, she's saying. She says, these are the behaviors that are pushing me away. He'll say, you should do this to me or that, and she says, well, how about give me a back rub or something? And he goes, well. So I feel like we live as roommates, that there's no real marriage anymore. And for both of us, this is a second marriage. I just want to
Oh,
feel loved again. I'm sure he feels that way, but when we have a talk, it gets defensive, it gets emotional, starts crying. And then I just don't
what?
even want to, yeah, he starts crying and I just stop talking because, I just can't handle this. It's looking hopeless. So, okay, my thought about this, and let me just hear your thought. My thought about this is that you have to become really, it's really the similar thing as the last one. You have to be really good at communicating your wants and needs. You have to be very, very good at communicating your wants and needs. And a lot of people, especially women, will tend to just let things go for a while because they want to accommodate and be nice to the man. And really, she should have brought this up, I think, years sooner, because I don't think this is new. In fact, she shouldn't have gotten married to him if he was like this. He probably was always like this, and she just ignored it. But she has to talk to him about it. It's a very serious issue. And something's wrong with the guy, in my opinion. What do you think?
I think that I know why his first marriage failed.
Yeah, yeah.
So she's poorly communicating that what she should say is, if you massage me, I will bang you. Like,
Hmm.
he clearly likes
She should negotiate with him. She should do a, I'll
not
do this if you do
negotiation,
that.
just an explanation.
Oh,
Because
an
he
explanation.
likes to
Okay.
say, why don't you suck it, right? So she can just
Hmm.
say, it's the female version of that. She's basically saying, and it's interesting because when I was younger, I used to use the massage as a way to get in there all the time. Like, why don't I give you a
Right.
massage? Oh, your
Oh,
bra's
yeah.
in the way.
Oh, it's awesome. I still use that.
Okay.
It's
So
awesome.
it's very telling that the guy doesn't know that when you want some, this is a great move, right? It says a lot about his personality. He sounds very selfish,
Childish.
but it could just be the way
Huh?
she's describing it.
Yeah.
So they've fallen into a bad pattern, which you're exactly right. It's very hard to do a reset, and they're not communicating the issue. He clearly doesn't understand that for women there has to be something before the penetration. Like, there has to be, it doesn't have to be an hour. This is one of the things. Sometimes you think foreplay has to be an hour. It doesn't, but 5 or 10 minutes or 20 minutes is like in exchange for like getting what you want. Especially, it sounds like he wants a lot of stuff. Is like, you have to see it as a cooperative thing as opposed to something you take from the other person. And it
Okay.
sounds like
So,
you see it as a journey together.
yeah. 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 I agree. And I think I think that men will do a lot for a woman. A man will do almost anything for a woman if it's about sex. So if she just becomes a lot more assertive and just says, well, we could cuddle for an hour and then I will do this or do that, and she just sticks to it, he'll do it. And maybe
I mean,
she could change her behavior because maybe he'll become more attuned to the subtle uh, signs of physical affection other than sex, the things that the rewards that they bring, which are so great. It takes a while for the brain to get attuned to that. But if she just tells him that, he'll probably do it because he wants to have sex.
well, it sounds like he doesn't, though. It sounds like he's also pulling back from the intimacy
Or
because
intimacy,
his
yes, not but sex. But sex doesn't have to be intimate, as you know.
okay, well, that's what I meant. So that's what I'm thinking, is that maybe he also is starting to lose interest in being with her, and
Yeah,
so it could
yeah,
already be there's more damage than we know, but that's a
Right.
tough one. I've got one that I
But
think
so
you're gonna.
again, I would say if I was her giving her advice, I'd say, tell him that you need to cuddle for an hour and set the clock. And then at that point, he can do this or do that. I'm serious.
Yeah, when
Because
the
that,
bell rings, you can do
yeah,
whatever you
I'm
want.
serious. I'm totally serious. Yeah, well, she can be very specific. After that, I'll do this or you can do that. Yeah, and he'll probably do it. And then if she does it enough times, his brain will start rewiring to the affection and the rewards of all of that. If he really does love her, the physical rewards other than sex, which are so great in a relationship. The other day I was lying around, I work at home and my wife came in, and she lays down on the bed, and we just cuddle or whatever. It was just so pleasurable. It wasn't sexual, but it was so pleasurable. It was just so wonderful. And I don't think that a lot of people get that because their brains aren't wired quite that way. But if you keep doing it, you get wired, and it's so pleasurable. It just builds and builds without actually, without short of sex. So take some time. So that's my advice to that person. This is also one thing brought to you by the sponsor of this is our wonderful company, Feral. Remember, you're just one spray away. Feral is an attraction cologne with animalic accords that women can't get enough of on a man. So you want to have every advantage and edge that you can. And they'll give you a free bottle. You just have to help them out with shipping. Go to attractivehabit.com.